Guys, so I'm here with Anthony, and this dude is a.
Now, let's do it.
He didn't know the.
You good? Keep that in. Keep that. I'm good with that.
And what it is, this guy's mastered communities. He's got Slack teams. He has a business you built just to pay down your debt, from my understanding.
Yep.
And guys, I don't know anything about communities. You know, barely got friends. But I said, man, I'd love to learn. You friends with the homeboy Rich. How'd you and Rich meet? I don't even think I asked.
Both from New York, both from Brooklyn. Mutual connections. Wives met, brotherhood met, and built up from there. So now we just been connecting for the past couple years.
And Rich is like, son, I got somebody you need to meet. He blessed us with his presence. We came out, boom, boom, boom. I said, dude, I got a lot more to learn, man. So if you don't mind, please walk me through everything you know.
Okay.
And then maybe that'll help somebody else too, because social media, digital marketing, the digital real estate space, we all are consumed by something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you get people to consume you?
Yeah.
That's the big thing. And what do you build around it? What does that look like? I still have no clue. So hopefully we're going to learn something from him. But go ahead and tell them what you do and a little bit about yourself, man.
Yes. My name is Anthony Hartzog, founder of Clean Business University. I've been an entrepreneur now for the past 8 years. I started my own local service business in Texas, where I have a remote cleaning business. And what exactly does that mean is that we built a multiple 7-figure cleaning business without cleaning a single house, using digital real estate, for example. We're using automation, we're using systems, we're scaling. And the best part about it is that we're working with people, mom and pop shops, who normally don't have those digital presences, so we don't have to go out and clean the homes ourselves. And then from there, we started what we call Cleaning Business University, where we've now taught over 2,000 people how to launch and scale their own remote cleaning businesses, and they've gone on to generate over $18 million. But what we're talking about here today is the digital side of how we built out our university, how we built out our branding, and most importantly, how to turn your impact into income. So that's what we're talking about today.
Man, look at this dude.
Oh, I got balls for days, man. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. I don't practice this. I don't practice this for the past, I don't know. And we've been sharing our journey on social media now since 2017, me and my wife. So we've been doing this on YouTube.
You early adopted the whole journey thing and making sure you're capturing all the steps in the process to build value in the community.
And we had no idea what we were doing. We just said, you know what, there's no black people talking about money on social media. And if there was only a few dozen people. So once I got my wife.
Kids even earn your leisure. Then popped up out of nowhere, but even
2019, 2020.
That's my point. And so when you say there's a reason why there's like 2 Negroes that have gained traction, if you would, and it's because we're not talking enough about how to solve our problems. And remember, he did the problem solving thing based on debt he wanted to pay down.
Yep.
Well, I gotta get rid of this debt. It sucks waking up every day going to work just so you can pay your bills. Where's the profit in that? It ain't nowhere. And profit gonna go over some folks' heads to be clear, because you say, well, I don't know, what do our profit? Oh God, we're not gonna go there, not right now.
So we had $114,000 of debt, and we got married in 2016. And at that point, I said, how do we pay off this debt? And we started a bunch of side hustles during that time. Funny enough, I don't know if I told you, we were watching dogs, and I hate dogs.
Oh yeah.
We got a dog, and you know that was one of the prerequisites for my wife. She said, all right, if we're gonna try to pay down this debt, what are some things we're gonna do? And I said, our goal is not to pick up more jobs, but we said our dog needed to be, during that time, we didn't like dogs. So one of the first things we did was watch dogs on rover.com. And essentially we started bringing dogs to our home. We had very strict criteria though. They had to be smaller than our dog. That was number one. They had to weigh less than like 40, 50 pounds. And we were making, I think over the course of that year, we made about $5,000, $6,000 just bringing dogs to our home. We had kennels just like this, and they would just run around, and people thought we was crazy during that time. So now, first they think you're crazy, then they ask you how.
Oh yeah, look, I look crazy too. But,
I mean a little bit, but.
Just for now, we stay tuned. We're gonna get into this one. We are back, and one of my favorite things, if you can't tell, this is how many feet is this whiteboard, Jamarcus? It's big.
It's big.
It's a big whiteboard. And normally I'll leave my stuff that I'm thinking through up here. And I told him, I said, hey man, let's get on the whiteboard. When I'm dealing with Syed, we get on the whiteboard. When I'm thinking through stuff, I either get it on the paper and then put it on the whiteboard. If I work with Scott Hunt, we're on the whiteboard. Point is, get a whiteboard, put it in your house. And then when you have people like this, you say, man, walk me through, first word, community.
Community, ooh.
Exactly. So key to building anything success, that creates success. every platform has a community.
Absolutely.
And they tapped into communities. So you got people who need to pay their bills, but maybe can't afford their car notes. So Uber's a community. You've got Facebook community, Instagram, TikTok community. Celebrities have a community. D1 athletes are a community. You know, you go down the line, MLB versus the minor league. Two different communities.
Absolutely.
Two different ideas even, you know what I mean? Even the little guys dreaming to get to the big league. G League and NBA guys. They're like, oh, that's cute. You up here for 2 days, man, good luck.
You're gonna be around too long. And one of the things that, if you think about during the pandemic, we were all locked up for almost 2 years. Well, not in Texas, we had about 2 months being locked up. But during that time, we all were craving one thing: communities, because we weren't able to be around other people. So after the pandemic, that's when everyone's like, we need to create communities where we may not be able to physically be in front of each other, but a lot of us during that time, Zoom was one of the highest stocks. Why did Zoom become one of the highest stocks, the highest earned companies? Because they created communities. People were like, how do I connect with other people all across the world online? And then after that, we said, how do we utilize those platforms?
You know what's crazy is we even saw, what's up, buddy, saying, guys, today we're going to, you know what I'm talking about, Tony Robbins.
Yep.
I said, damn, he didn't crack the code. Normally he could only fit about 6,000. Now he got 60,000 in that thing. He got all the
screens,
people.
yep.
I said, he was like this. Oh, what have we been doing? We could have been doing this for 5 years. If you're trying to change your life, this you go. I said, this motherfucker don't shut up. But again, going back to communities, man, people basically realize what you're saying is the power of staying connected and coming together. The wedding industry, every industry changed during COVID, and some of those communities are never going to change. And some businesses change forever, hence they close forever.
Absolutely.
And terrible cash reserves, etc. That's a whole other thing. So, what did you learn when building out your community that helped you become successful at sustaining a community and then building a whole university for those people that have debt and whatever problems?
Yeah. So when we were going through this process of having $114,000 of debt, one of the first things we wanted to talk about was just sharing our story. So that's all we were doing on social media, was sharing our story. Because as you share your story, you start building a brand around that. So our story was, or our come up was, how we paid off $114,000 of debt in 23 months.
Okay.
So our problem,
first thing was community. Second, we told our story, and then it was like, what problem are we solving?
So the problem we were solving was debt pay down. How do you pay down $114,000 of debt in 23 months?
In 23 months?
23 months.
How many people have $114,000 between you and your wife, or was it just you?
Me and my wife.
Okay, so
we
you
had car debt, we had student loans, we had credit cards, and those are the major ones that all of us had. $151,000 and like 27 cents. Something like that.
He said 27 cents.
So
he paid it down in 2 years.
Yep.
18 months basically, almost 2 years, you paid 114 bands down. Now, well, go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. So we got the community, we got our story, which we're continuously sharing, and we got the problem. Now that problem needs to relate to not just 5, 10, 15, 20 people. You need to have $1 million problem. And we didn't realize we had $1 million problem, but then also we had $1 million solution. Because now people are following our journey, not because they love us, not because they want to be a part of our community, but our problem was big enough and solvable enough that millions of people also had. So looking back, I didn't know this existed until we started figuring out what the journey was.
So technically, it goes like this. He first had a problem. Second, he told his story. Third, the community built itself because it already existed. He just had to find the best way to communicate it effectively through his story, and then work through problem solving, which is the formula, I'm guessing, as to how to get there. You built a business.
Absolutely.
There you go. Now keep going. Now community, it's one of the things I need to learn about. Now mind you, people got dogs. All your dogs got problems.
Absolutely.
And he knows about
I had a dog, yeah. We couldn't figure out how to walk our dog. We couldn't figure out how to feed our dog. We couldn't figure out how to stop our dog from barking. So we had a problem. We had a story. We had to find a community or person to help us solve that problem. So we took him to a trainer. And there you go.
Trainer. And that's a whole other problem. We're not going to get into that. I want to know more about what he did. So
Yes.
when did you know that this could turn into a business and scale in a sense?
So we went from the problem and people started asking questions about it. So if no one's asking you about your story, nobody's asking you about your journey, no one's asking, how are you doing that? Then you might not have a big enough problem, or you might not be sharing your story enough. So people started asking us as we're sharing our story, how are you guys able to pay off $114,000 of debt? and we were answering the same questions over and over. If you guys know anything about Dave Ramsey, he tells the same story. He told the same story for 25 years. Save, invest, pay off the debt. Every single story is exactly the same. But people still call him every single day for 3 hours a day. It's the same question, but different stories per person.
Isn't that crazy?
So we ended up getting the same questions over and over. How did you guys pay off this debt? What debt did you have? How are you doing it? Can you help other people do it? Can you help me do it? And that's when we said, oh, we might be able to build something out of this. So can you help them achieve a result?
Huge.
And then that's when we said, okay, we can help people achieve a result. It may not be as big as ours, $114,000 in 23 months, but can we help them either pay down a bill, pay down a car note, and then I'm not going to dive into the community that we built from there, but we were able to drive results. So we started helping people a little bit at a time to help them pay off that debt as well.
And what was the problem that you saw consistently with those people who didn't understand the money that they were making? Because a lot of people are making money.
Yep.
Obviously, go to work, you got bills. Clearly, you can cover your bills, but you don't understand. Maybe had a budget, whatever they get. What was the financial problem that most people struggled with as to why they couldn't get to a place to pay down their debt?
So they had what we call a leaky bucket, and a leaky bucket means that all your money's coming in, but it starts falling out these little holes. You probably seen the analogy when you're in a boat and it has a bunch of holes in it.
Yeah.
You start trying to patch up the holes, but eventually that boat is going to sink.
Period.
So we saw that people had a leaky bucket, and what we had was what we called a zero-based budget. And that's exactly what Dave Ramsey talks about, zero-based budget. So at the end of every month, how much money do you have? People think about a budget and they say, oh, well, I'm restricted on my money. No, you having a budget is you telling your money where exactly you want it to go. So we started helping people budget. That was the first thing we helped, which is the same thing Dave Ramsey does as well. Help people budget. But Dave Ramsey's not black, and most people can't relate to him. But I love his story. So we started helping people budget, managing their money, finding out where their money is going, and then taking that money and deciding to either pay down a credit card, pay down your car loan, pay down your student loans, whatever it is. And then that was one of the first steps we did to help people drive
So
results.
step one was actually just teach people to budget.
Absolutely.
Or identify the profit, and then basically, I guess, not to even just say, like, this is what you could do with that instead. Because
Absolutely.
if you get through, say, 18 months of this, now that profit is, it's real profit. Because you're no longer dealing with debt or
Absolutely.
things that have to go somewhere.
Absolutely.
Interesting, man. Interesting, man. So go back to community real quick.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you learned from the community that you now have? Because I think along the way, I personally have missed steps, even though the dog space is a little different. But I've missed steps because I haven't had like crazy friendships. I haven't spent a lot of time with people and mentors and all that stuff. I learned what I need, and I kind of just disappear.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I don't know how to sustain this at times. So I've got to find new ways to attach myself to a community because I feel like I don't belong anywhere personally.
Yeah.
So what's one of the things you learned from your community, and what keeps you like kind of motivated by it?
Look at one thing you just said. You feel like you don't belong anywhere.
Yeah.
You feel like it's other people that feel that way?
Oh, for sure.
That's a community. So that's the thing, like we feel like we're the only one with this problem.
Yeah.
And then you put the problem out there and you start saying, wait, I don't like people, I don't like traveling, I don't even want to see your face. How do we come and see each other's faces
Sounds
and be
about
around
right,
each other? Right? So that's one of the things that we see all the time is that we feel like we don't have anything to keep people around, but sometimes you just being yourself might be more than what you realize.
No, I know. That's why this house stays full of folks all the time, because it's all, even reaching out to you. It's like, yo, dude's got something figured out. Rich is a high level thinker, as you know, and he loves bringing people together.
Absolutely.
And seeing people win. So he's like, son, you got to meet this dude. He's got something rocking. I think you can learn from him. He's like, say less.
But there's certain types of people. Rich might be a curator of spaces, which means that he's a connector. He's going to connect me, he's going to connect you. But he might be the person that's going to stand in the background and let it happen. That's what Rich is, right?
Yeah, he always like this. All right, man, y'all be good.
Yeah, good. That's exactly how he is. So you have those people who are good at curating. Like my wife is an amazing, she doesn't coordinate, but when she shows up, she keeps people together. My best friend Sajai, he was a person that would curate this space. He would also communicate the events, but he would also keep everybody together. So when he passed away, we started seeing the friendship group start to fade away a little bit. So we said we need somebody else to come in and make sure the group stays together. So it's different type of people within every single community. So for me, I may not be the best person that will keep the community together, but I know I can bring people together for a common cause. I can bring us all. I used to throw parties back in New York City, and we used to have one of the largest pool parties in New York, which is actually illegal. And then we also had the largest barbecues called the UA Barbecue event, where all we did was just gather people from our university. It was like, we're gonna come together, throw a big ass barbecue. We had 1,500 people in a park that only held 500. And we did that year after year after year. So I said, you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired of people. So there's different versions of that.
Interesting, man. Well, look, that sounds like community's simpler than probably I'm making it.
Mm-hmm.
And even more importantly, it is this type of community where I like people that do business stuff, where I can add value to other people struggling or doing whatever that makes the world a better place.
Yep.
So, what else, man? What else? Keep walking us through.
All right,
now.
all right. So you want to stay on this story, or you want to go to how to monetize?
Ooh, monetize.
All right, cool. So I'll use this story and show you how we monetize people who had debt. I don't monetize, people don't like the word monetize, but we all gotta make money, right? If I can help you achieve a result, you should be willing to pay me to help you achieve that result. So it's not a bad word. That's another thing about communities. People don't feel like, well, nobody's gonna pay me for this result. Well, if they ask you the question, they might be more than willing to pay you. So we ended up starting to share our journey on social media and help people live and direct going through their budgets. And we said, if we could help you pay down, whether it's $5, $10, $15, $20,000 of debt, how much would that be worth to you? So we ended up taking those people that were coming to us with those questions, and all I did was just create a Slack group. There was this before School, this is before Mighty Network, this is before Circle, this is before, there are hundreds of community-based platforms. And Slack is just a communication tool that most of us use at work, or use WhatsApp or anything like that if you want to get into technology. So all we did was, and we said, we're going to create a challenge. And throughout this challenge, you're gonna pay us, I think it was like $100 total. And we had about 23 people in that challenge, and we said, whoever pays off the most amount of debt by the end of that challenge gets the money that we earned, essentially. So we gave them the money that they paid us to the person that created the biggest result throughout that challenge. And all we did was just record the journey, and we shared that challenge out. We said we helped a group of 10 people pay off $78,000 in 10 weeks. And then that became a bigger audience.
So what was the next stage in monetizing, I guess, the bigger audience that you were creating?
Yeah. So, man, you got me thinking back. So that was one of the first things we did. So we turned that 10-week challenge, and part of my handwriting too.
That's okay.
And that
I know
was,
you New Yorkers can't write.
that was about $78K of debt that they paid. And then throughout that journey, we were talking about our journey on our cleaning business. So I'll just type in CBU. And we were sharing that we helped a group of 10 people pay off $78,000 in 10 weeks. And this became another headline. That's super important. You gotta have a headline for the journey on the result that you're helping someone achieve. So then we said we had our $114,000 of debt journey. We also helped this group of people pay off $78,000 of debt. And we were able to do our journey through what we call Cleaning Business University. So we said if we were able to build, at this time it was only 6 figures in our cleaning business, and that helped us pay off this debt. So we said if we could help people build a cleaning business to help them pay down debt, travel, whatever it is, how much would they pay for that? So instead of me going and building out a whole entire community, what I did was I took that same strategy that we did here, which is on Instagram. We did a live, and all we did was how we built the cleaning business. And I said by the end of that IG live, if you would like a more in-depth version of this, it was like $97 or something like that. So we did an IG live, and we said, if you want a more in-depth version of how we paid off $114,000 of debt in 23 months while building a remote cleaning business, pay us $97. So by the end of that IG live, I think we had made about $2,300. No course, no community, no nothing. So I said that gave us, people make the mistake where they're gonna go build out this whole entire thing without anybody being involved to even know if they want it. So instead of us going out and pre-building it, we pre-sold it. So we made $2,300, which number one, showed us that people want the thing that we are actually sharing and selling, but it also gave me and my wife the incentive, because she said, ain't no way people want to learn how to start a cleaning business. So after we made that $2,300, $2,400, whatever it was, then we went on and built out the community and the course at that point. These could be 2 separate things. These could be, you can monetize this, you can monetize this, you can monetize both together. The more that you actually bring the course and the community together, the more you can charge. So at first, it was just a course. We sold that for $97. That was it, one-time purchase. But then we know what people needed during that time? I'll let you guess.
After the course?
Just the course, that's all they had. What do they need?
Well, they need business infrastructure.
Help.
Help, well, for sure.
They needed help. So we realized that, wait, a course is not just enough. People want help. People want a community. They want to be around not only us, they want to know who else is doing this thing that we're talking about. Who else is out here building these cleaning businesses? Who are people actually making money? So we said, you know what? We're going to raise the price from $97. I think we went to like, at that time it was like $4.97 or something.
Oh, shit.
And we said we're going to give you not only the course, we're going to add community where we can ask, you can ask us questions, right? So you're not stuck, you're not by yourself, you don't need to try to figure this out alone. That was the second step. So we built out the course, people needed help, so we would just answer questions. And then we realized that there are people out there who would rather you do it for them. So we took the course, we took the community, and then we also created a service offering. And what that service offering is, all right, you might have a little bit more money than $4.97. You don't just want to outline. You don't just want a community. You might want somebody to do something for you, or do it with you. So you got DIY, or you got DWI, and DWI is done with you. And then, or you got done for you. So usually, when you have this is going to be the cheapest because they're doing everything by themselves. Done with you means that there's a version of them doing it alongside you, alongside other people. But then done for you is going to be the highest level of service that you can offer for the most part. But that's also the hardest to scale too, because now you're trading your time for money, but you might be able to charge 5, 6, 7, 8 times this because now you're delivering a result for them directly. So, excuse me. So these are the different type of service offerings that we decided to create within our community. They got done, do it yourself. They got done with you where we give you course and community. And then we got done for you where we might build out your website, we might build out your templates, we might build out some automations for you. So those are the type of things that whenever we're building a community, we're trying to figure out which version of the thing that we're building out that we want people to get. Now, if you're starting off, you might not feel like you could give someone a result. So when we were helping people pay off this debt, this was us pretty much doing it with them, alongside them, making sure they're budgeting, so that now we can take each of those testimonials, each of those results, and now say, you know what, we helped 10 people pay off $78,000 of debt. Now we know for a fact that it works, so we can scale it this way. We can give you the templates, we can give you the resources, we can give you the tools, and you go out and do it yourself. But it's always a version of it where people want it done for you. So anytime we're building out a community, those are the 3 things we're looking for when it comes to it. And there's tons of different platforms and stuff like that. But
And walk them through your favorite thus far in terms of building, sustaining, managing all these people.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna come to this side over here. All right, so inside our community, when we first started, it was my wife and myself. Me plus wife. And one way we would do it is we would just host a live monthly call. That's it. So you could have
Zoom or anything.
you could have 10 people or you got 10,000 people on Zoom, or not Zoom, but you guys get the point. You can manage that amount of people in just one monthly call. And then you also have another aspect of where you might have a Facebook wall or a Facebook group or something like that. So that's another place where people can just ask questions. Now, the best part about this in that community is that if you get enough people, they can start to answer each other's questions.
Oh yeah.
So now they're managing each other, where we just gotta go in there and just check in, just make sure people are getting their questions asked. And then once you start making enough money in your community, then you can hire something what we call a community manager. Now we have a community manager, her name is Chanel. She actually was our first virtual assistant that we hired. She became the manager of our cleaning business, and now she's the customer service manager for Cleaning Business University. So you could hire someone, you could hire a VA, you could hire someone from the Philippines for $5, $10, $15 an hour, and they can literally manage your community. That could be the customer service, that could be the questions, that could be the outline, and all they're doing is just giving people the resources that you already have that are already preloaded. Once you get past the community manager, I would say the last and final step, once you have this community built out, would be the structure of it. So I don't even think you need a structure until you got enough questions, you got enough people. Because you could just have a community where people are just asking questions all day. And as long as they have access to you or somebody else, they don't mind. But at that point, you can literally create a structured outline for them. And you don't have to do that until you get enough people in there asking a certain amount of questions.
And is there a number that's going to require that structure?
If you see, so that's a great question. So once you see you're getting the same questions over and over again,
Yeah.
that's when you create that structure. Because now you're like, all right, well, I gotta frequently asked. One question we get is hiring in Cleaning Business University. So hiring, and then people ask about marketing, and then we got sales. We broke it down. Operations and tech. We know this is actually, I would call this HR. So that could be anything. So HR, marketing, sales, operations, and tech. And those are the 5 phases of every single business. They're going to need some version of this. So if you realize you got, no matter what you're doing, there's going to be 5 phases of this, this tech stack. And then you can start building out the actual curriculum for people. So I wouldn't say there is a timeline when to do it, but when you start getting the same questions about, oh, how do I hire? Oh, how do you market? Oh, what happens if somebody picks up the phone? What do I do? Oh, I don't have SOPs. I don't have standard operating procedures. Oh, what tech stack do you use for your cleaning business, right? So these are all the same questions, and then we package that into the curriculum.
Goodness. And so once you got through, I guess, the Zoom and Facebook, what's the next place you went to make sure you can kind of keep some order in the thousands of people who are participating?
Yeah, so you do get to a point where Slack becomes completely crazy. I don't like Discord because it's just too technical. So we use Slack, we use Discord, we use WhatsApp. WhatsApp was too informal. It felt like, well, why am I paying to be in a WhatsApp group? And then Facebook, I just don't like the fact that Facebook can lock you out of your account and you don't own anything. You don't own the assets, you don't own the emails. So we do have a free Facebook group that has like 1,000 people in it, but most of the time they're not engaging.
Repeat that though, because people always ask us, man, you got to get on Facebook. I said, Facebook doesn't honor shit about its creatives, its business developers, and if they say so, you're done. And you just, man, reinforce that idea.
Yeah, Facebook will lock you out. I have a Facebook ads account. We run thousands of dollars to Facebook, and then once I'm locked out, it's like, where's my help? And they're like, oh, go out, reach out to email and stuff like that. So we do have a Facebook group. It is free. We got over 1,000, I think 1,500 people in there. But again, it's free, so most people aren't going to value it. If it's free, you're not going to pay attention. When you pay, you're going to pay attention. The more you pay, the more you're going to pay attention. So if you want to start out, Facebook, go for it. I don't recommend it, but it's the cheapest. Go for it. Then you got things like, you got Circle, and these are all membership platforms that have been created over the last couple years. You got School, that's another one. You got Mighty Networks, that's another one.
I've been watching and reading about this one. That seems pretty promising.
Yeah, we've been on Mighty Networks. We moved from Slack to Mighty Networks when we had about 50, 60 people in there just sending messages all day. The best part about Mighty Networks, the best part about any of these platforms, that there's pros and cons to each, but the best part about any of the platforms that actually are meant for communities is that you got a structure, they got gamification, they got emails. You can send out blast messages to each person and it goes to the email inbox and the text messages because they're meant to keep people engaged. So once we went from Slack, we moved over to Mighty Networks, and we've been there now for about 3.5, 4 years.
Oh, shit.
It does get pricey after a certain amount of time. School is probably the least expensive. A lot of people moving to school, but I just think their structure is just too much like Facebook. And Circle is another good one with a lot of automations.
Oh yeah, cha-cha did. Oh shit, $1,700 delivered. I like, look, Rich wake up and send me his stock and gave me. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That's, hey, I love when you hear that ding, ding, ding.
I dead ass turn that off.
Hey, look, hey, won't he do it? I like when nigga talk, he gets 17 real quick. That's half a rent or some shit.
Literally, so these are the 3 platforms that are highly engaged in terms of building communities. And right now we use Mighty Networks. School is more for gamification and Facebook, things like that. And Circle has a lot of automations. So those are the 3 we use and we would recommend. I built my wife a school group. Cool, me.
Either one. One's cold, one's room temperature. You choose, but you got them both.
So I built my wife a school community in about 24 hours. She got her first 2 paid members at about $17 a pop. But I just wanted to prove out that it could be done. So,
would your wife be down you or something all the time?
No, I wanted to build out something new, and I got bored, and I didn't want to
the second time where you was like, she's like, ain't nobody gonna pay for this. She's like,
oh, that's our entire journey. It's not that she doesn't. It's not that she doesn't. At this point, she's like, you can do whatever you want to do. But I think early in a relationship, you gotta prove that what you're talking about, what you're doing, is actually gonna make sense. So when we try to pay off debt, her answer was, well, nobody pays off debt. Everybody that we know has debt. Why would we be the ones to pay off debt? Why can't we be different? I say, we could be different. So that was the first thing. Cleaning Biz like, oh, why would you want to build a cleaning business? We got 9 to 5 jobs, we make good money. And I was like, well, we could also make more money. And then building out the program, nobody wants to learn how to start a cleaning business. So at this point, she's like, all right, nigga, go ahead, do what you gotta do.
Hey, my man been proving himself the whole time. That's crazy.
Now, don't get me wrong, I have made some mistakes. Like, everything hasn't gone our way.
Oh, that's business though. You wouldn't even have a job if things could go right. If everything worked, people. I had a question the other day, and the dude asked something very simple, and it was like simply complicated because I don't understand it. But it was like, hey, basically, how connective are success and failure? Well, you don't fail, you just figure it out.
Absolutely.
And if you are going to succeed, but put it like this, if you think everything's going to work, you failed.
Absolutely.
There's nothing in life that ever worked. It works, you have a job because it don't work. And they pay you to make sure that when it doesn't work, you can solve it working or getting back to work. So
Absolutely.
the minute it's perfect, you out of a job. Hence, let AI figure some shit out. Y'all motherfuckers been gonna have to go back to digging holes.
Listen, Microsoft just released the top 40 list of the most jobs that will be removed by AI in the bottom 40. And all the bottom 40 are local service businesses. So not even just local service jobs, meaning you need a physical human to a phlebotomist, they take your blood.
Oh, yeah.
Nursing assistant, lawn care, handyman, cleaning businesses, doctors, lawyers were lawyers were on the top 40
To get replaced? Oh, yeah.
I sent my lawyer a contract. He's like, oh, this is pretty good. Where'd you get it from?
ChatGPT.
But I didn't need his eyes to look it over. But until then,
Yeah, because once Chat gets that thing, when they figure out 1, 2, 3, them lawyers gonna be sharing. Look, niggas gonna be showing with their eye. Who's representing you today? My buddy Chat. I named him Cleo. Cleo's gonna clear all this up.
there it is.
I mean, and mind you, Chat got the voice thing. So, hey, for those that are movie heads, go watch the movie Her. I watched it literally probably 10 years ago. And the dude's got the AI in his head, and it's like it goes off to hang out with its own people. But one of the things about Chat, as Mark Cuban talked about, is it's the first social media platform that you're building a relationship with. And I said, oh, that's interesting because we don't have a relationship with Google. But I type so much dog shit into mine. If I ask a question that thinks it's talking about, I'm talking about dogs. Somebody's like, ask Chat, who would you date? I was like, we don't know. I'll only talk to that motherfucker thinking about dog shit and feeding. So I was like, that motherfucker just assumes on top. If I say, hey, generated pictures, they'll be like, hey, put a dog in it. There's
Absolutely.
nothing I've talked to that thing about other than dogs.
Literally. And you can use AI to literally build all of this stuff that we talk about. You can use AI to build your community. You can use AI. I built the AI course in probably like 15 minutes, and it sold thousands of dollars. And then you can use AI. We're now using AI to deliver services to our clients. So I created a service that our clients can ask us questions, and all it has pulled from was my problem, my story, my YouTube, things like that, answered questions already. And all questions they already are going to ask is already in there somewhere.
And guys, we get thousands and thousands of questions over the past 5 years of, what do I feed my dog?
Yep.
So I'll be like this. Let me fuck around how that thing analyzed 6,000 videos.
How do you start that question? What type of dog do you have? What's the goals? Like all of that stuff. They answer those questions. Boom.
Oh, it's over.
Absolutely.
It's over. It's over, man. Well, for one, all this stuff makes sense, guys. Part of my job is to keep living, learning, and becoming a leader, and that requires to be around other leaders, and leaders create leaders, to say the least. And I for sure have learned something today. And again, look at the whiteboard, man. This right here is pretty to me. It's like, man, we was able to fill some stuff in and make it make sense, and all of it makes sense, man. This is simple, bro. Now, why did you have faith? And some of this going to be on the podcast too. Why did you have faith in solving your own problem? That's the biggest thing, because as you just disclose, maybe the wife's got a few more questions. You need a couple of people around you that's apprehensive, but you need some people, because all she's going to do is ask the tough questions. Ask the questions maybe you didn't ask. And then you say, oh, that's a good question. Let me make sure I solve that problem because it becomes a real big problem.
Absolutely.
But why did you believe that you could solve this? Because I know you New Yorkers think anything can happen. son, I can do this thing and stop it.
I mean, why did I think I could help people solve their problem? Number one.
First, do you mind telling them, like, what do you do for a living? Because people don't know, like, black people can be successful and not have to play sports, so.
Yeah. So I worked in IT for 15 years. I was a project manager. I worked my way up the corporate ladder. I was working for a hedge fund for private equities, and I pretty much became a director there. I managed about 35, 40 people under me, and I was there for 7 years. I promoted 4 managers, 3 of them were black. My entire team was black. I promoted them, and I got to the point where I was like, this is starting to get like repetitive. I started catching attitudes. I was like, ah. And I loved the corporate chase, but there was nothing more to chase for me there. We already built our cleaning business during that time, so I was in my job for about 8 years. I built my cleaning business. There were days we were on Good Morning America, and I walk into the office, and they're like, "Yo, was you in Good Morning America?" I'm like, "Nope, that wasn't me." So I didn't want them in my business. But we got to a point where it was kind of hard to hide what we were doing outside our jobs.
Yeah.
And you could Google us and things like that. So me and my boss just decided, you know what, your heart's not in this. I gave him, I was like, yeah, it's really not. I built up my team, built up everything I need to do. So we have our cleaning business, and then we also have a community that I talked about. We help other people build their digital assets, and that's what we've been doing for the past now 8 years.
Yeah,
So-
and you guys need to go look at what hedge fund management and all that stuff, because on average, these guys make 150 and up, and that's me lowballing, to be clear. But he wasn't able to just pay the debt down because it was like some magical money.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, no, Buddy and his wife have very good jobs.
Yeah, very good job. They fired my wife 3 weeks into maternity leave.
Oh wow,
That's crazy.
that'll motivate you.
Absolutely. People think that your job is secure. She was there for 9 years. And imagine you walk into your job one day, you have a baby, you have it 3 weeks, and they say, we got to have an emergency meeting. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, that right there, people, I could never be in a position where somebody could tell me what to do. I know in fact that ain't no fair. But I love the risk I'm taking, which is no risk at all if we're betting on ourselves.
Absolutely.
So I can't imagine what kind of fuel that is. That had you hotter than a...
The funny thing is, we wasn't mad. You know why?
Huh?
Because we had options.
Yeah, no. I forgot what I asked the last time. 'Cause I wanted to interject. I want to just let people know, like, yo, this is a guy, my buddy Rich. Everybody around me normally does something, I won't say relevant, but something productive that requires them to use their mind, right?
Yeah.
And because you can use your mind to flip the switch, go over here, use your mind, and you already were doing well. Now let's go do great. Like let's see how great we can be.
Absolutely.
And how many people we can help. So I think sometimes people get confused, not knowing you can make good choices and live a good life and live well, not having like stress yourself out. But corporate's always going to be stressful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And now with AI and various things, it's getting worse.
Mhm.
And then to be able to like 9 years of someone's life and get pregnant, like
Yeah.
they have a whole maternity leave thing.
Yeah, we was on leave, and I don't even want to get into it, but
Yeah.
but listen, I think the best thing about it is that we were on the fence for so long. Like, who's gonna leave their job first? What are we gonna do?
Somebody
This
pulled,
is-
they just shot you.
we were doing this for 4 years. Like, oh, you gonna leave this? I'm gonna leave this. And then one day, my boss sat me down, and he was just like, "Do you really want to do this?" And I was like, "Oh, I needed that." So I needed it. Me and my boss had a really good relationship. I was like, I really need that.
You know why that
conversation.
too? Because the money be so good. But like, I got a reason to leave here. That check keeps showing up. Well, we ain't they gonna have to put us out. Right? It's
No, that's how it was. That's how it was. Too.
That's good though too, huh?
Creating options, man. That was the biggest thing for us.
That's good, man. So, best advice though for those people that are trying to just figure out how to have the confidence even to test and push themselves a little bit, man.
Man, I think the biggest thing is just sharing your story. I tell everyone you have a personal brand, whether you're behind the camera, whether you're in front of the camera. When you show up to a job interview, what are you doing? You're selling yourself. That's a personal brand. What people say behind your back, in front of closed doors or in front of people, that's your personal brand. So we all have it. I'd rather you share your story before somebody else has to share it for you.
Man, I've said this before. I'm a brand guy. I tell everyone and all people, turn the fucking camera on.
That's it.
Every part of your life can and should, and especially nowadays, be recorded because part of it's free money. It's free fucking money. What I love about this, let me give you guys a perspective. I could turn around and even drop this, upload this video. It could get 0 views on our YouTube or something. But we go to Opus Clip and drop the clips in IG and TikTok and various platforms where he's cutting up and putting stuff together and just feed the thing. Well, where's that video? Oh, bam. Now it goes back to this. I want to see more. 15 clips over all the stuff he just covered on smaller short forms boosts the whole video. And it's all because that platform maybe breaks down all the stuff in detail and rates it and whatnot. So I don't always think it's the best one, but it's the best at what I think it's going to be long term. I think it's going to get better. I know it's going to get better. So, guys, stay tuned. Stay motivated. And even more importantly, hopefully you learn something, man.
Absolutely.
And where can they find you guys at? So in case they want to start the side hustle and potentially start a cleaning business and be a part of your community, work all the places.
Yep.
Make sure you talk to them slow.
New Yorkers, you know we talk fast.
Yeah.
So you can find us on Instagram at the Hartrimony. That's TheHartrimony. That's the Hartrimony. You can Google our last names, Hartzog, and you can find us on all social media platforms platforms that way. And we got a podcast, More Than a Side Hustle, where we talk about everything entrepreneurship, family, fitness, faith, finances. You can find us everywhere, guys. So appreciate you being here, and we'll see you next time. I'll close it out for you. Was I supposed to close it out? I wasn't sure. I'm talking you closing it out.
Hey, look, I don't give a shit.
There it is.